me. I kinda asked for this. I will always ask for this. An amazing game that continually gets updates 10 years into its lifespan? You know what? Hell yeah. And maybe deep down there is a part of me that wants to experience a little hanky-panky with the town blacksmith. I can get into it. Stardew Valley is the pinnacle of farming sims. We simply cannot get better than this. I'm sure that everybody has had the thought of leaving behind their dead-end job at a soulless mega corporation to go and work on your late grandpa's farm. God, I wish that were me. Why didn't my grandpa leave me a farm? I mean, the fantasy does kind of end there though too, because farming sounds very physically taxing. I'm not really built for that. The general vibe and feel of Pelican Town is just so idyllic and interesting. You know, you want to get to know the people living in it. Even if some of them are rude at first. I'll defend my queen forever, but it's true. And of course, we love those heart events and the romance. You can find yourself getting real intimate with these NPCs. The farming itself is fun. It's great to watch your farm go from a piece of shit garbage all the way to a well-oiled machine. All of the skills are very well integrated. You know, the fishing, and then we've got the combat, which is a little bit more on the simplistic side, but that makes it more friendly for those who aren't as into the RPG elements. Those little serpents in the skull cavern, they're very scary. It's a gorgeous, well-rounded experience. But in my opinion, between you and me, what makes Stardew Valley really special is that this $15 game gets continuously updated all the time. We just celebrated 10 years of Stardew Valley being out there in the world, and we're still gonna get more updates. We are looking down the barrel, folks, of 1.7. The developer of this game, Concerned Ape, just can't seem to put Stardew Valley down. He announced a whole other game, and he just can't seem to step away from his first baby. This madman, he must be stopped. He's just toe damn good at this. But I am kind of like, okay, so like, what else could we add? The last update that we received added so much late game content. So I'm like, okay, like what else is there? While I do think that Stardew Valley has plenty, I believe everything great can become even greater. I've got a few wish list ideas that I think could truly make this game perfect. Because you know I'm always striving for perfection. But first, let's talk about another game. Whoa, I know, it's like super weird that I'm talking about Stardew Valley in this video, but I'm also gonna be talking about a video game merchandise company that makes really cool video game merchandise for another game. Y'all like Terraria? How about this? Do y'all like video game merch that doesn't suck? Today's sponsor, Lost in Cult, specializes in just that. High quality, unique, official video game merchandise like their newest release, Terraria Design Works. A gorgeous book filled with tons of information about the development of the game, the creator, beautiful art. The deluxe edition includes a hardshell slipcase, a Bestiary Blitz card game, papercraft kit, 5 pin badges, a poster, hollow bookmark, and 9 postcards featuring some of the game's most beloved biomes. They also sell physical games, vinyl, tabletop games, so much cool stuff. But what's really cool about Lost in Cult is that you can use my code LISSTerraria at www.lostincult.co.uk, or hey, the link is in the description if you don't want to remember all that. You'll get 10% off of this brand new Terraria collection or anything from the Lost in Cult store right now. Feel free to go and browse. And thank you, Lost in Cult, for sponsoring today's video. We have gotten 6 major updates to Stardew Valley since its release in 2016. Looking at Stardew Valley, I'm like, damn, that's a game right there. What else could even be added? I'm not really super into like bloat and unnecessary content, but I do have faith that Concerned Ape will not give us unnecessary garbage. Truthfully, I even was feeling the same exact way when 1.6 was announced. But once I got my hands on it, I realized, okay, yes, there is a lot more that could be added. Mastery was an excellent addition to the late game skilling. I was a huge fan of the skill books. The Desert Festival helped make things feel a little bit more poppin' over there because the desert is a little bit empty. Oh my God. The raccoon family. I think that the raccoon family needs to discover a little bit of birth control. But until then, I am happy to complete whatever tasks that they need. 1.6 just really showed me that you can expand on what is seemingly a full and complete game experience without muddying the waters. So I do have faith in 1.7, whenever we get it, whenever that may be, because there's currently no release date. I'll wait. No, it's actually so relatable to not give yourself a deadline. If there's no deadline, then you can't miss it. I see you. Here is what we know about 1.7 so far. There will be 2 new marriage candidates in the 1.7 update. First up is Sandy, the cutie merchant running the oasis in the desert, and Clint, the Pelican Town blacksmith that players love to hate on for being a little socially awkward. He's giving a little boy failure, and in some ways you can read him as a little incel-y because he's constantly hitting on Emily, a very popular marriage candidate in this game. Leave Emily alone. No, I think it's funny as fuck, honestly, to reveal Clint as a marriage candidate. You know he was giggling. My initial reaction to this news was shock, I tell you, shock. I expected Sandy and the wizard. Clint kind of came out of nowhere. I'm very open to it though. I want Clint to have a redemption arc. I've definitely hated on him in the past. His dialogue can be interpreted as a little creepy, but I think a slight rewrite and of course more cutscenes can really bring some humanity to his character. It's not like he's so terribly unlikable. I just think maybe we need a little bit more context to his character. I read him as a neurodivergent king. He's neurodivergent and a miner because the ores. Well, actually, does he even do his own mining? I don't know. Aside from his rancid vibe, I think a lot of people also do dislike him because he just will not stop trying to hit on Emily. Even if you marry her, you can still trigger the cutscene where Clint is trying to hit on her right in front of you. Like maybe we can make it so that doesn't happen or modify it so that, you know, if you're dating or married to Emily, it doesn't go down like that because it is incredibly weird. That's how it works, at least for the heart event where Clint actually asks her on a date. If you're married to or have seen Emily's 10 heart event, it just won't trigger. Go back to your bush, creep. That's my wife you're putting the moves on. I have nothing to say about Sandy. I would love to get to know her better. And I think that Sandy and Clint as the new pair, it works. All of the romance candidates in this game are sort of paired up. Like each romance candidate in this game has an unspoken pairing with another romance candidate. That's not explicitly stated in the game, but it's implied. Alex and Haley, Maru and Harvey, Leah and Elliot, Sebastian and Abigail, Sam and Penny, Shane and Emily. Some make more sense than others. So Clint and Sandy make more sense to me than Wizard and Sandy. I feel like they have some sort of connection that can be made through Emily, right? That's the bridge, is they both know Emily. The Clint hate has almost become a meme of its own, you know, like the Pierre hate. So wanting to give him a little bit of a rewrite is fine, and I think it's a great idea. If I made a character like Clint and everybody started hating on him, I think I would be kind of sad. So I'm excited to see how it goes. You know, I would have preferred Gunther, Marlon, Gus. Like those are just wish lists for me. I want to romance them. I digress. 1.7 is also confirmed to make children a little more interesting. Super on board for this. It has always been a little bit disappointing that after you go through all of the work of wooing your honey, you get married, you have the babies, and then they just fumble and bumble around your house all day, never aging, never being interactive. I would love to see them grow up similar to like the Harvest Moon. I want them to age and work on the farm. Hey, it's a collective effort. But these kids, they need to start pulling their weight around here. We don't need child labor laws. No, not in my Pelican Town. Even if they can just grow up and join Jas, Vincent, and Leo in school, I would love that. And the last major thing that we know about 1.7 is that we are going to be getting a new farm type, as is kind of tradition with each major update. We don't know any details about what that is going to be yet. We already have a farm type for each of the skills, so I'm not really sure what we would add here. My prediction, Desert farm for Sandy. I don't know. I'm just saying shit. There's also talks about there being a farm map editor, so you can kind of freely create whatever kind of farm you would want. I love this idea. I love the idea of more customization. I'm kind of one of those people that it's like, I'm not sure how much I'm gonna actually use it. If you can do things like add riverways and ponds and rocks and bushes and all of that, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Then I'm super on board because I love doing stuff like that. But that is all we know so far. It does cover a few things that are on my personal wish list for this game. I always thought that the children needed to stop being fumbling, bumbling idiots. I always want more romance candidates. Even if one is kind of unpopular. Don't worry, guys. I'm romancing him first. I'm taking the plunge. I am so ready for those steamy Clint cutscenes. I just, I have a few ideas of my own, if you will humor me. Truthfully, a lot of my ideas do already exist in the form of mods. I think some of you are cooking, and we deserve to have your content in the vanilla game. But I want to go over all of my big things. The first being a Joja refresh. I played with a mod in a past video that gives the whole Joja route a bit more meat and potatoes. Oh, and it also allows you to marry Morris, head of Joja Mart. I'm not asking for that, but I am asking for a more consequential Joja route. If you turn your back on the townsfolk and choose to uphold a mega corporation's presence in this quaint small town, then I think that should show up in your gameplay a little bit more. Number 2, real characters. I want NPCs like Gunther, Marlin, etc. to be friendable. They have such a presence in this game. I don't understand why you can't increase your friendship with them and give them gifts and stuff. They literally, like those two specifically, they live in the town. You interact with them regularly. A mod that I think that we could take from is the Stardew Valley Expanded mod. In Expanded, you can gift Gunther, you can gift Marlin, befriend them. Gunther especially, I think, has excellent cutscenes in that mod. It made me wish that the mod automatically allowed me to romance him, because I was just, oh my gosh, I was falling in love with like how well constructed his cutscenes were. Like, yes, of course, I would love to escort Gunther into the mines for a little excavation dig. That's so fitting for his character. I just loved it. Those, I think we could just like cut and paste and put into Stardew Valley vanilla. The Marlin stuff, it's a little bit more convoluted, a little bit more complicated, but I want something similar for him. It's just, I don't know if the Stardew Valley Expanded content really needs to all be in there. I'm gonna bring up Expanded a little bit more, but I'm not asking for that to be all in Stardew Valley. The reason I think that it's relevant to bring up is because it's A, the most popular mod for Stardew Valley, but B, Flash Shifter, the one who created Stardew Valley Expanded, has been employed by Concerned Ape. So they are working together on Stardew Valley, which, hell yes. We love to see employment work. I think that they are a very talented modder, talented developer. I love a ton of things about the Expanded mod, but my general opinion of it is that it is just too expanded. I think that there is a lot of bloat in that one and a lot of things that feel like we didn't totally finish before moving on to the next thing. So while I'm not on board for bringing everything over, I would like to see a couple things. Gunther's cutscenes, oh my goodness, would love it. And then speaking of Expanded, I love what they did with the community center in that one. Yes, number 3 on my list is that I would like people to use the community center. I spend all of this time rebuilding it, restoring it to its former glory, and what do I get? Oh, nobody goes there. Nobody goes there, nobody uses it. In Expanded, each season has a community day where all of the villagers in Pelican Town will go and hang out in the community center, which is fabulous for gifting, but also warms my heart. And then the NPC schedules are modified slightly so that some of them will go and hang out in the community center on certain days. I am very open to a community center festival. 1.6, I think, added all of the festivals that we could ever need in this game. I don't feel like we actually need anymore, but I would be down for just one more that maybe makes use of the community center a little bit better. Perhaps it could be the anniversary of when you restored it and everybody goes there. I don't know what they would do in there, but it would be a big party. Number 4 on my wish list, more interesting spouses. Babies are gonna get an upgrade, so why not my useless husband-wife? It always makes me a little bit sad that once you marry the person that you are so excited to marry, they sort of lose themselves a little bit. Their schedule seems to be a lot more simplified. Their dialogue can definitely get a little bit repetitive. And then when they do decide to help you on the farm, it's useless. You'll have a farm full of sprinklers. It's basically an automated system. And your spouse will be like, I watered the crops for you, babe. It's like, oh, okay, well, that was already done, but thank you, sweetie. During this year's Pride Month streams, I played Stardew Valley with a couple of interesting mods. Okay, there was some real interesting ones in there. But 2 mods that I would like to highlight, one of them being hired hands. It allows you to hire people to work on your farm, whether they are generated randoms or people that already live in Pelican Town. That mod is pretty new. It didn't really function totally correctly, but I love the idea of being able to like recruit people to do tasks on the farm. I would just maybe like to see the spouse contribute a little bit more. It's hard work running a farm all by yourself. And if, hey, maybe they don't work on the farm, there was also another mod that I played with called Spouse Income. I don't remember what it was called, but the spouses that had like real jobs, Harvey's a doctor, etc., they would contribute to the household income. Love that. It was kind of a cheeseball mod because I also was playing with the polyamory mod, so I was married to every romanceable character in the game. That house was very full. A full house, but I loved the concept. And then I had one more idea to maybe like make the spouses a little bit more fun. I have been playing Persona 5 Royal, sue me. I want each spouse to have an individual to them defined perk for marrying them. There are some, but I think we should go harder. For example, Shane will always pet and feed the animals. Maybe he can even have his own little bin where he collects the animal products for you. We already have the auto grabber, so it's like, oh, okay, that's not really that great of an idea, but hey, it's a perk. Maybe Abigail can go and gather shit in the mines and place that in a bin. Perhaps you can wake up with more energy when you're married to Alex, or maybe you can wake up with more health when you're married to Harvey. It does not have to be a major perk. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to affect the gameplay in such a dramatic, drastic way, but you know, just a little something something would be nice. Number 5, Zuzu City. This isn't actually on my wish list. I know, I'm kind of being drama right now. I know people want to go to Zuzu City. Controversial, don't want to go to Zuzu City. We have a few hard events that take place there. People are always referencing it in their dialogue. That is where we moved from when we left our dead-end job at Joja to come move to the valley. I'm pretty sure we were in Zuzu. I don't think it needs to be a place that we can visit. We have plenty of places to go in this game, so why not make the areas that we do have even more robust and full and interesting and exciting? The desert. The Desert Festival is a great addition, and I do think that there is a good amount of gameplay in the desert already. I just kind of wish that there was like a little bit more, maybe like one more thing to do over there. Perhaps another building or something. A special mining area. I do not think that adding something like the Crimson Badlands from Expanded is necessary. I hate that place. Oh my God, trauma flashbacks. But maybe we can visit Sandy's house there or something. Ginger Island. Ginger Island is fabulous. No notes. I do have some notes for Pelican Town, if you will humor me. We get to restore the community center, the movie theater. We can give Pam a house. Leo gets a tree house. All fabulous, but I think we could do more. Can we maybe remodel the bathhouse? Make that a little bit more interesting? Maybe actually make it kind of useful? I don't know. I get pissed off every time I start walking all slow to get into the actual water. The bathhouse just kind of feels a little bit like an afterthought. What about the Hat Mouse Shack? Why is he forced to live in these conditions? I'm just into the idea of continuing to work on what already exists instead of adding a whole other new thing at this point. I don't need a whole new city. What would I do there? I'm a little farmer girl. Unless it's relevant to the story, okay? Then I'll take it. Last, but definitely not least, I would like to talk about rival romances and breaking up marriages and cheating and stuff. I know you all want to be able to break up Robin and Demetrius, Pierre and Caroline, Jody and Kent, save her from that war criminal. I understand the primal urge to save a woman from her mediocre husband. There was a bunch of drama concerning this topic not too long ago. Not really sure what all went down there. I'm just talking about my thoughts about implementing affairs and home wrecking, and yeah, I'm not really too sure if I need it in Stardew. If it makes sense to the story and it feels right, then I am on board. In general, I do think that there are a couple of storylines that could use some wrapping up. As of right now, I want it a little bit less than I want rival romances. Remember how all of the romance candidates have unspoken pairings? I want to see them start to get together and date. What if the other bachelors and bachelorettes can progress their own relationships, get married, just start families, move in together? I think everybody that has played this game has always kind of wanted to see the life in the valley progress while you are building your own life. It sounds so incredibly complex. Like, I'm not a game developer, but my brain is already hurting thinking about how that would even work. However, I'm still putting it on my wish list. And also add in that I would like to see a little bit more consequences for cheating. You know, I always am carrying around my little rabbit's foot in case I get caught hoeing around a little too much. And I'm not talking farming. Love that cutscene. I do like that your spouse will sometimes notice if you're gifting other singles, and they'll be a little bit irritated with you, but I think we could take it even further. Can we get a special cutscene where if you have given a bouquet to somebody else in the town, maybe your spouse gets really mad, really upset? What if they could even leave you? Oh my gosh, that would be crazy. If it were to be that dramatic, I think that we would want it to be like such a small, slim chance of that ever happening, but the chance is always there. Ooh, I love living on the edge. I just really love when games have super crazy consequences like that, so I'm on board. If I choose to date everybody in the town, I would like everybody to be gossiping about me, and I would like for my wife and husband to also have a chance to leave me. We don't know when 1.7 is coming and what exactly is going to be in it. And I'm not sure if I even really have that great of ideas. I'm certain that you guys will let me know. But what we can agree on is that this game is already so amazing. It is not often that you see a game developer, a solo dev, be able to put so much time, effort, and energy into just one singular game. I love Stardew Valley, and I love that you can feel the heart and the love in this game. To work on one project for 10 years, it's commendable, really. I cannot imagine working on one single thing for so long. Oh my God, 10 years. That's crazy. What's crazier, maybe, is adding Clint as a romanceable character. Like, really? Him?